So, checking out, I'm putting that on there, meaning like I'm not going to be as active. Like I'm doing this shit every day. And I want, more than anything, for people to just start, like, look around right now. I mean, I'm dedicated here, right? Like, I'm pretty dedicated and I'm pretty convicted in this whole thing. Like, I'm really, really, really against the whole New World Order thing, you know? Having a very difficult time getting things across internet-wise. So, I'm going to start taking a break there. And, I'm just seeing if anybody's on here or if they're going to let me speak or without kicking me off. If you see this, go to my pinned post. I think what I'm going to start doing is Thursday nights. I'm thinking about just doing like maybe a 1-hour session on Thursday nights, collect the things that I'm talking about. You don't want to miss this, what I'm going to talk about tonight, because it's, you know, I've said it a couple years ago, right, in different ways, and not as in such an evolved way, right? Like, this is something I pay attention to every day. The whole graphene thing, the whole smart city thing. You know, I've been on the smart cities for about 5 years now, right? And most people are like, yeah. I'm going to give you the best description that I can, and then I'm going to take a fucking break from this stuff because, you know, it's consuming me, right? Like, it's to the point where it's starting to take a lot here, and that's the part that's bothering me. So my buddy that I did the podcast with the other day, Marky Dennebaum, posted something in his story that there was a study done on Chat GPT, and that study showed that people that use it regularly or something lost their cognitive abilities by like 45% or some kind of number, right? But you know, if you want, I'll put it in my like pinned stories or whatever there, and you can see what I'm talking about, whatever this study is. And it just sparked up the old thought that I had about, you know, the military and all the college kids and all the medical staff and, you know, everybody everywhere that, you know, became inoculated, you know, through deception and, you know, some of the most evil shit we're probably ever going to see in the history of mankind, you know, technologically anyway. So I'm gonna iron this whole thing out for you tonight, and I'm gonna let you see for yourself, like, just how detrimental all this shit really is, and what I don't want to be negative. I don't want anybody to get bummed out. I don't want you fucking crying about it. I don't want you freaking out about it. You know, like, what are we going to do? How are we going to detox? Oh my God, what, you know, like, don't just, that's not the way to look at it, right? You have to start looking for answers, I guess, at this point, for all of us. And I'm going to tell you how they're doing what they're doing. And it's pretty simple, actually. So, at the beginning of things, right? Now this study done on Chat GPT, these people losing their ability to think, that's what's happening to them. The neurons are acting differently in their brains, right? But they're not able to absorb the things that they're directly interacting with this service, right? They're learning something immediately, and it's not sticking with them. And I've recognized some of this with myself. It's not that I don't remember it. I retain the majority of it. But there are some things, like sometimes I want to pull a word, like one simple word. You know, it could be something as simple as automobile in place of car, right? All of this shit has everything to do with it, okay? Something to do with it. Definitely one of the creators of it, right? Okay, so ChatGPT is an AI system. I don't know how long this video is going to go, what's going to happen with it once it starts. I'm not going to be able to see this side of the screen, but you know, I'm doing this for everyone else, right? I know what the detriment is for me, But, you know, my life is starting to suffer from it in a weird way, right? Other people have said that to me already, like, oh, you know, shouldn't be at work talking about this shit or whatever, right? And they're right, you know, like they're right. In this world of reality that's been duplicated, you know, in what we think is real, right? We walk outside and we need money to fucking breathe anymore, you know, something went wrong somewhere, and we call that real, you know? So that's a heartbreaking thing for me. I'm in the middle of a 750-page book that I want to finish, and all I can think about is AI, right? I'll just flip open at Facebook real quick, and something there catches my eye, algorithm, hey, keeps scrolling, and I'm kind of sick of their shit too, you know, so I'm probably going to be trying to get off of here and going on to Substack or somewhere, and then posting the links and whatnot, but, you know, as much as I don't want anything else to do with it anymore, all of this shit, you know, it's just that people are fucking unarmed, man, right? How many of you are unarmed in this shit, right? I mean, you're looking at me. I'm just an average guy that's paying attention to it, right? You could all be doing the same thing. If you're watching, the people that don't watch regularly, right, you could open your ears a little bit. Start thinking for yourself. It's a pretty dire situation, right? And that's not to drive the panic. I don't believe in that. I don't want the fear porn and all that stuff. I don't want to get people all fired up and panicked, right? But what our government just did over the past 5 years is like, I can't believe it, right? Like I'll put these things together and I can't believe it, right? I'm reading stuff about like Hermetic philosophy and Western Hermeticism and esotericism and whatnot, right? And I'm it's all about becoming, you know, more than just a physical thing on this earth, right? Not being only manly, but, you know, being something greater through here, right? And you start picking a lot of really wild shit up, right? And you start to be able to see through a lot of crazy stuff, you know? And some people I lose on the whole idea, you know, you start talking about things that actually matter, but are looked at in such a way that it's just automatic turn off, you know, flat earth, that's it, you know, or anti-vaxxer, that's it. This guy might be a Republican, that's it, see it, you know, there goes the button, buzz him, get him off the stage, right? So this is going to be important, all right? So, I mean, we have all this shit here. Sentient world simulation, CRISPR, Teslaphoresis, own nothing. That's a big part of it, right? Own nothing. Great reset. Humans are hackable animals. That's from Yuval Noah Harari's book, Sapiens, right? Top aide to Klaus Schwab, whose father was a literal Nazi, right? Humans are hackable. So I'm in there watching the guy whose post triggered this psychosis on me, right? It's a psychosis. I'm stuck on it. I can't help it. But I'm watching them talking about these things, these Zins. And these other things, my sons are taking these fucking things and putting them in their mouths too, you know. But again, the major component here that nobody understands, the one that is in everything, the one that they're merging all things with, right? The one that they're duplicating the physical world with. That's the big one. Okay? Guess what's in those? Why did they just come up with these new tobacco alternatives, right? So the same thing they're doing here, the gums being the most absorbent tissue in the human body. It's the same reason they tell you only need 1% fluoride in your toothpaste. Why? Because your gums will suck that shit right in and it'll go straight to your brain. You put aluminum in your mouth after you brush your teeth, throw a stick of bubble gum in, right? Every bit of that aluminum that was in that foil wrapper, if there is any, right? It could be 1, 2, right? But you're going to chew a whole pack of gum. Or it's a habit, something that you do regularly. You chew a pack of gum a day or every couple of weeks or whatever, right? that aluminum from the fluoride is brought in more, with more fluidity. It's a lot easier for the aluminum to get to the gums and to the brain, right? And then Alzheimer's and all this other shit. So like I said, they've done this shit before with aluminum, right? And FM radio, radar frequencies, radio falls into that band, right? So now you're taking Zins, you're putting these, alternative tobacco products in your mouth, and you're absorbing graphene. And people got injected, and they kept saying, "Hey, the keys are sticking to my fucking forehead." Right? That was a big problem. That was the one that really got me going. Like, wow, these people vaccinated are like, they're magnetic spots on their bodies, right? The fuck is that? So yeah, of course I didn't want to do it. Why magnetic? Because it draws an electrical charge, a static charge. So your brain works off of pure electricity, right? I think it's the prefrontal cortex, right, of the brain. Somewhere up in here. That's where like all your processing is done. They did all those tests back in the 30s and 40s, electroshock therapies and all that different stuff on the brain. I brought the guy up with, back in the 50s, I think, the experiment on the bull. If you can, I have a hard time remembering this guy's name. I know, and I said it last time. I always want to say it's Jose Delgado. Dr. Jose Delgado put a radio frequency chip into a bull's brain, did a study, stood in front of the bull, waving a flag or whatever, and made the bull just stop and not want to attack him. Right? That was in the 40s and 50s. There was a scientist that did that. That guy later worked for the CIA or previously, one or the other, I don't remember. Right? But that's something that was done in the 40s or the 50s and 60s. Then they start coming out with all these neurological crazy drugs like LSD and whatever else, right? That area of the brain is where people were sticking shit to the front of their foreheads, keys and whatever else and whatnot, right? Through a process discovered and studied at Rice University, they figured out graphene nanotubes in an electromagnetic field will form their own circuitry. They're self-organizing. They'll create their own circuitry. Okay, and so what I'm going to do for you, because most people are too lazy or they just don't want to leave the chat or whatever here, right? Whatever the reason is, probably a lot of people don't go and look this up. So I'm going to show you what Teslaphoresis is. This is a study that was done at Rice University. This video is now 9 years old. Okay. We're glad to now release it to the world. Okay, so the first device that they show here, that's a Tesla coil, just so you know. That's what's in your 5G towers now, all right? Very quietly, but so I guess I have to be about. Turn this up for you.
Teslaphoresis, which is a discovery we made several years ago, and we've been developing it.
Inside of an electromagnetic field.
Teslaphoresis is, the simplest way to understand it, is self-assembly at a distance, just long-distance assembly of materials. And what we did was, because we're at Rice, we had plenty of nanotubes around, so we decided to use nanotubes. And what we discovered was that these nanotubes can actually string together and form wires by themselves under this electric field.
I'm going to walk you through this, what this means for your body. Since you got graphene nanotubes injected.
That you can have, instead of, when you normally build circuits and things like that, you have to have physical contact Now we're talking about building circuits without actually touching them.
All right, we're just dispersing this. Power on. And up. I realized that a Tesla coil.
See those sparks happening? I don't know if you can see that, but they're gonna zoom in here. Do you see those sparks? Remember, people were getting clots? Well, that's when ionization has occurred. These lights are inside of an electromagnetic field. There's no wire. There's no wire attached to them.
Teslaphoresis is one of those things. It's a project that
Once that becomes fully ionized by that electromagnetic field,
not just making
it sparks,
wires,
right?
taking it.
People are having like these random heart attacks. Remember?
Engineering
So people are having random heart attacks. They're having strokes.
Silicone chips or
Why?
exploring
Because they're inside of an electromagnetic field. What is that electromagnetic field? That's your entire house. That's 5G.
Self-assembly.
That's anywhere you are that one of these devices is. All right? So my point here now is I'm going to tell you what they're doing and what they've been doing. Okay? Everybody's familiar with an acupuncturist, right? This is the part that I never put together before. I kind of understood what they're in the middle of doing, right? With all the magnetic stuff. The brain is electrical, the majority of it. You need a magnetic compound to steer, just like I'm doing all this crazy shit, right? Magnetic stuff, electrical potential, drawing that out of the sky. Same thing in the brain, right? If I want to control and direct electrons, what do I need? Magnets, copper, right? Inductance, all that kind of stuff needs to be around for that shit to work, right? You want to draw clouds out of the sky and be awesome, you know, build one of those things. But if you want to fucking control the entire world population, inject them with graphene, right? Create neuro wiring systems, right? So if I'm Bob and I've got a pain in my hand, and let's say this is my arm right here, the pain is on the arm here, the acupuncturist will come in. Let's say that's in the middle of a nerve cluster in your hands, whatever I forget what they call them, right? But now you've got this pain, it's shooting up your arm. Say, all right, well, regular doctors aren't doing anything about it. They don't know what they're doing. Let me go see the acupuncturist. He sticks a pin in your arm right here, and he crosses that path to right here with another pin. He takes that pain and he reroutes that pain into a different area, or he bypasses it. What you can feel now down in where your hand is at, right? Let's say the pain is in your hand. He reroutes through the nerves in your body. He reroutes that signal, that electrical signal, so that you can't tell that the pain is there anymore. I had it done once. I had a terribly bad back before I ended up getting surgeries, right? So rerouting through that electrical system that our body already has, I no longer feel that pain because of that, right? So now we go on to ChatGPT, and I sit here like a dumbass, and I go, I don't want to read a book. I'd rather ask some questions, right? So now we start to talk about our digital twin, right? So my digital twin knows me, right? And I said this before in another video, but so your digital twin is everything you've ever done online, and these phones are built around subtle energy frequencies. They pick up every frequency, everything. Light, I showed you the other day with the infrared stuff, right? They pick up every kind of frequency around you that is measurable. So where the hell was I going? So now I get on ChatGPT and I start putzing around here. What am I going to look for? Right? Neurons are firing in my brain. How am I going to ask a question? Right? And something in my brain triggers a measurable thing happens in my brain. Right? So just like that acupuncturist rerouting that synapses, right? That trigger thing, just like that pain is being rerouted, the neuron that brought that thought to my brain is now probably being rerouted, right? I mean, I can't tell you exactly that's definitely what's happening, but it sure does make sense, right? And so when you're in a world that is completely polluted with graphene, and you have all these neurons firing in your brain, and your digital twin starts asking questions, you know, this is the way that process would work, is my assumption, right? So you've got two options here. Start fucking doing something about it now, or let it go. Let it go, and none of us are going to know what it is that we're happy about, right? I thought that was kind of funny. I said that last week or something, you know? At least they chose to make us happy. Own nothing and be happy. They could have said, yeah, you'll own nothing and be miserable the rest of your existence, right? It's a funny thought, but they're doing it, man. That's what is happening right now. And we're walled off. Nobody else in the world can see what we're doing. We can't see what anybody else is doing. The internet is a fully controlled thing. So if you want to do anything about this in your own personal life, right, join that group that I have on my, I just pinned it as a pinned post. They wouldn't let me reshare it, so make a new post out of it. So I just pinned it instead and re-edited it. And you can't comment back and forth, but it would keep you up to date on anything that I'm looking into, right? Because this doesn't go away from me every day. I'm getting kind of tired of putting my face on Facebook, not getting any kind of interactions, all that stuff, right? Like, I wish that I could click like and do all the stuff that I used to be able to do on Facebook, but you know, I've been digitally quarantined, right? They call it tombstoned, I guess. I just watched a podcast they were talking about, they call it the tombstone algorithm. Once you do something fucked up on the internet, they got you pigeonholed for life, and that's where I'm at. I've been there for a while. So every time my face shows up on a digital platform, I remember I was trying to start a new TikTok up, my face showed up over a phone, kicked me right back out of the app after I was already kicked off of the app. I had to get a new phone, and then I was able to reopen a new TikTok account. And this is 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, right? So the technologies have advanced, right? There's no more conspiracy theory in it. I've explained to you what the chemtrails are, that they are e-fuels, and they contain graphene. It's a program put out by Yale University called the Carbon Capture Program in the process of solar radiation management and saving all the fucking idiots that believe the earth is going to burn to a crisp, and the ones that are supporting these programs, like fucking stupefied idiots. I mean, if we can't reach them, then we're fucked too, right? So that's the facts, right? Those are the facts. Those are the things that are behind it. Those are the reasons, right? Graphene. It's in your hairspray. It's in anything breathable, anything edible, anything you can dip your body in, right? Anything you can cover your body in, anything that anything can be coated in, pretty much now has graphene on or in it somehow, right? So it's amazing, right? It's amazing. So trying to get other people to see that stuff and see the importance behind it. I'm not telling you I think this. I'm telling you I 100% know this. And I wish that I could get people to see it as clearly as I do, but that's where we're at. How do you get it out of your body? Stop eating, stop breathing, or you stop the assholes that are putting it into everything. You kill those markets. You know, if you're in manufacturing, you work at Gatorade somewhere, and your plant manager says, "Hey, go put the box of nanotechnology in the." You know, the recipe there, you know, the new box of graphene that's better for the flavor. Or you work at the airport, right? Hey, pilot, you know, you're flying around an airplane that has this fucking graphene fuel in it. Maybe you should take your buddies and have them do a strike and not fly any of those planes. And, you know, because that's about the only way that you could stop this now, all right? It's in every market across the board. And, like, I know who the fuck am I to talk about any of this stuff? You know, some fucking dumbass out in his garage, blah, blah, blah. But I have a hell of a lot more experience than the assholes sitting in the fucking bar calling me crazy, right? So, I mean, you can say what you want, and I don't fucking care, but I'm telling you right now, that is what is happening to our world. And if they can reroute your neurons and the way that you think and the way that you perceive reality, guess what? They're going to achieve their goals because... And you're never going to know the difference anyway, you know? But it's just like, it kind of pisses me off. I feel fired up over it tonight, you know? Like, I'm reading that going, Chat GPT, that's how they're doing it. And you've got to think, if they're rerouting neurons in the military, how much work are they going to have to do to brainwash? Right? Hey, military, all the American white people are bad. Go kill them. Yes, sir. You know? I'll take my $500 paycheck this week, right? They don't even know the difference that it's happening. Don't even know the difference. Oh, they're domestic terrorists now. That's what they are. That guy in his garage trying to tell the world it's about to fucking collapse. You know, he's a domestic terrorist. Go kill him. Right, that's the reality where we're at right now. All the college kids? No, that's a bunch of fucking crazy people. Those people talking about graphene, they're a bunch of crazy people. You know, you go to college and you're here. We're going to give you a certificate, right? You're not going to own anything. You're not going to know anything either, but, you know, we're not going to tell you that part. So, yeah, that's where we're at. That's how it all works, right? They're rerouting your neurons. That's what they've been doing from the start of all of this. They killed the people that they killed. They were talking about placebos. They went in the other direction. They said, all right, well, let's throw some of Henrietta Lacks cells. If you don't know who Henrietta Lacks is, she was a black lady back in the 50s somewhere. The Tuskegee experiments, I think, is what she came from. The cancer in her body ended up killing her within a week after it was diagnosed. And they kept her cells. It was called the immortal cell line or something like that. But every lab in the world has a specimen of her cells, right? And it's a replicating human cell. It's a tumor cell. You know, so they're talking about fabricated meats and all that stuff from Israel. Well, they've already fed us shit with fluoride because you need to have a fertilizer to make it, right? So the derivative of creating aluminum leaves fluoride, right? That fertilizer is left over, becomes toxic sludge. That's what they're putting in your fucking toothpaste. You can believe it or not, I don't give a shit, but I'm telling you right now, that's what it was. So they've already been feeding you shit for all this time with your toothpaste. You're saying, please make my teeth whiter. And, you know, that's one big part. And then you wonder, would they do any of this other stuff, right? Yeah, they would feed you some human black woman's tumor cells in engineered meat, because there's no other way they could fabricate that type of protein, right? You remember that part where they said Bibi Netanyahu's walking around the lab and he says, hey, you know, like, oh, look, factory made meat. Where are they getting fake meat, fake proteins from, right? That's where. It's the only thing that you could put in it. Now, on top of it, they go and they start injecting everybody with this shit, making stuff stick to their foreheads and all that, right? And they lace it, you know, so a lot of people got turbo cancers, not only from Henrietta Lacks cells, but I think they also dosed them with a poison. They said, all right, well, if we kill a small percentage of them, then everybody will be paying attention to that. So maybe there's a remote kill switch on all of it. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure if you're within range of these kinds of devices, you know, I talked about backscatter technology. They can direct electrons at your body inside of your house, increasing oxidative stress, right? It's real, right? It happens every day with all kinds of things. Your electrician buddy, he's got gray hair. Your welder buddy, he's got gray hair. Why? Due to oxidative stress, right? So, I mean, you can look at all these things from those different perspectives, but, you know, now you've got a compound in your body that's attracting even more EMF, right? To increase conductivity in the water in your cells, creating oxidative stress, increasing the speed at which your body takes on some form of cancer or something, right? So, like, that's the reality, you know. And the people that they did kill or did die already are the distraction. That's how serious they are about controlling your brain. They don't want anybody to know that they're controlling their brains, right? They don't want anybody to know that they're spraying them with poison from the sky. They don't want anybody to know that their organic fruit is fucking laced and covered with this stuff. You know, they don't want you to know that that stuff is in your graphene tattoos, your quantum dot tattoos, or your coffee, or your mushroom coffee, or the healthy stuff you went out of your way to make sure you could afford to buy, right? Or the paint that is now $100 a gallon, right, that you're coating the inside of your house with, or the polymers that your new road is being put together with outside in front of your house, right? So it sounds devastating. It sounds dire, right? I know it does. And it's a panic kind of thing because, yeah, you're going to lose your own conscious faculties. They're going to be gone under the control of an AI algorithm. And, like I could recommend all the books and do all the stuff that I always do, but the big fight right now is graphene. If you can't kill that graphene market, all these other technologies are going to have you by the balls if you can't get rid of technology out of your life, your smart devices in your house. So anyway, I felt compelled to tell everyone that because it's just, at this point, like, you've got 3 years left, they say, about the whole Agenda 2030. What's going on over in Iran? Who fucking cares? We don't belong there. It's not our land. It's not our home. They've grown accustomed to whatever it is, the way that they live. I think we should all be completely focused on what's going on here and how to get rid of these assholes, get them out of our country, take any power over our markets away from them, right? It's got to be a big, gigantic thing, and it's got to happen right fucking now, man. Like right now. If you can't do anything about it, like you got to do it in your own small way. You're at the store. Hey, buddy, before you drink that Pepsi, did you ever hear about graphene? Have those conversations. So, sound crazy, man. Because if everybody sounds crazy, then everybody starts to sound normal, right? If everybody's crazy, then everybody's pretty much normal. But it has to be everybody. So make everybody else crazy with you, man. So, man, I don't know about the comments, but most people are probably going to be bummed out about all this. And I don't want to freak anybody out. I swear to God, I don't want to freak anybody out. That's not the point here. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to tell you it's a dire thing. I've been right about it the whole time. I haven't been the crazy guy. I've been looking out for everybody, right? I've done my due diligence as a father. Like, hey, I want to look out for the future of my children. I don't want them being a slave somewhere to some fucking piece of shit that decided because they have a few more dollars than the rest of the population, they get to control it, So, I guess that's best I can say all of it. So, what's up, guys? So, I'm going to read. Get away from the 5G. Start burning these fucking things down, man. Start burning. You got to tear it down. It's not tear the government down. Don't worry about tearing the government down. They're the smallest problem at this point, It's the towers. It's the routers in your house. It's the constant dependency on these technologies that we have. It's never questioning what the government does. It's having that fucking jerk off in the class with you. Hey, buddy, you're a conspiracy theorist. Hey, buddy, I don't give a fuck what you say. I'm about to punch your face in so you can understand for your own good, right? Like you're gonna have to get pretty physical, or at least adamant about how you feel about this stuff here, man. So, Zins are artificial with graphene, and certainly vapes would have it, but there's studies showing pure nicotine-killing graphene. I chew long cut, and I've had clerks at Wawa ask me. So, Matthew McNichol, go look up the processes that they use for tobacco production now. Because if they're not putting it directly into the tobacco, they're using it to test the potency of the tobacco. They claim that it has all these other things. We're testing the levels of cadmium and the, different levels of things in those tobaccos before they go in, right? And we're doing it with graphene, right? They're saying that the graphene is helping them figure these things out. So, Dr. Artis or whatever that guy's name is full of shit, right? So, nicotine patches came from that, right? Graphene laced. Zins, same thing. Doesn't matter what you're doing now. I swear to God, just go look. Go look at the different markets, man. Go look. Just type in your favorite thing. Are my markers, is the marker ink in my marker made with graphene? You don't have to ask it as a question. Just say marker ink graphene, right? Something will pop up. There will be an article. It'll say, hey, yeah, that's got graphene in it, Styrofoam, to manufacture styrofoam. To manufacture plastic goods, glue sticks, screws, paints, building materials of any kind. Like I look at them all the time. When I'm standing in an aisle or in a line at a not so big materials depot like Home Depot or a builder's, builder's shack, lumber yard, whatever, I bring these kinds of things up. When you're at Home Depot, everything that they have, graphene laced, right? Smart core siding, smart core flooring. The paints and the latexes, it's fucking in everything, man. I swear to God it is. So you better do your own due diligence. I'm telling you that this is how it is, man. That's the truth. That's the truth. This is what I've been studying for the last 5 years. I don't know what what these other people are doing in their regular lives, like live, laugh, love, don't worry about it, let's enjoy, live for today, all that kind of social engineering bullshit stuff that you hear. It's there, right? What do? This is the reason, probably one of the biggest reasons that I ended up divorced, was my ex-wife was one of those kind of people. Let's enjoy today, live for today, all that stuff. Like, there's going to be a tomorrow we're going to have to deal with when it gets here, so, rightly so, I guess. Maybe I'm a little bit on the fucking psycho side with my focus on things, but, so, what is the cure? I don't know, man. Why do they put it in vaccines? Very aggressive cancer cell line. Why do they put it in vaccines? I'm saying that they probably have put it into vaccines. Everybody that got cancer, or they were diagnosed with cancer, they were like within the week, it's like, I got this lump in my breast, and with stage 4, I just noticed it, So I've seen a lot of it personally. I've heard a lot of it. I've read a lot of it online. But Richard, if you go into that, so I have a chat that I just opened up. It's like, I guess they call it a channel or something. I'm not familiar with it, so forgive me as I'm typing in it. I'm not real schooled on it or whatever, but I'm going to keep up in there with this kind of stuff. But I'm going to stop putting my face out there as much, and I'm going to start trying to use different avenues to keep people as informed as I can of what what things I learned. So horseradish, quercetin, people are saying, right? Apples, oranges, red wine, berries, things like that are supposed to help. The horseradish helps your body to produce some kind of hydrogen peroxide. It's natural for it. But as far as it being in your brain, like that would have to be like a cilantro or something. I mean, I think that people should be making smoothies, right? But we got to get a lot of microchemists or biochemists or something. Anybody that works in any of those kinds of fields to start trying to figure out how to neutralize it or to eject it from the body, however. But it's going to localize in the brain, because that's why they make it magnetic. The brain is electrical. It's sticking in the brain to the electricity. It just naturally goes there and stays there. Like the rest of your cells run through your blood to your brain to become charged positively from above, from the sky, right, from the sun. And then you ground that off, so it's just natural, right? It's fucked up stuff, man. It's like, it's heartbreaking, right? Isn't it? It's fucked up. I can't believe they're doing it. And what do you do? What do you do? At this point, what do you do? It's got to stop, man. It's got to stop. Hijacking our peripheral nervous system. Yeah, for sure. I mean, too many greedy people. It's not so much about greedy. I think it's more that I think they're insecure. They know that we're about to fuck their asses up as soon as we get the opportunity, if we figure out who they are, It's not like the college kids are saying, hey, I came up with this graphene thing. Look, we can rule the world with it. Like, fuck everybody, like, make them all brain dead and do what we want, right? That's not them. It's the people that are funding them. Like, hey, go. These people that are doing this stuff have never owned their own technology, right? They've always funded other people to go out and figure it out. They're not the smartest people around, right? Culturally, right? They've engineered and they've designed and refined all these different processes by which they take all of these different technologies throughout history, right? But they aren't. I would do well in a one-on-one fight with like fucking 90% of them, I think. And I'm 51, so I mean, there's not many of them either, right? You just got to be smarter than them. And no, it's not Jews, it's not Muslims, it's not, right? There's a group, right? It's a bigger group, for sure. But you need to start studying the esoteric You know, the people that have always controlled the flow of mankind, it's them, right? So I can't scroll here. Salt baths. No more silence. Does that Ebu oil change for blood kind of thing? Clots. What, man? No more silence. Does that Ebu oil change for blood kind of thing? Clots clog up the machines. Oh, are you saying Rife? Maybe I don't know. I don't know what you're. Please type that out so I can understand what you mean. I make my own the quercetin stuff. I periodically do super hot baths with a large bottle of peroxide, and it will manually oxygenate your bloodstream as high as it can go for a week. Definitely fucked up, yeah. Nathan Wood, you are a bit depressed tonight, buddy. I get it. But if you know the Wim Hof technique, do that. Relax a bit later. No, I'm actually, I'm fine. It's just like I'm watching these guys that are like, I mean, so they're having a conversation, and it's not that they're not both smart guys or anything like that. It's just they don't see this kind of stuff the way that I see it, And like when I tell you I'm thorough, I'm fucking thorough. Like I wouldn't I've dedicated myself to understanding all this stuff, So here's what I do, right? Somebody will say the earth is flat. I hear it. I want to figure it out. And I won't leave it alone until I figure it out. Or I put it up on the shelf, right? There's a tiered system of shelving somewhere in this fucking mayhem, right? And I'll put it up on the shelf. All right, well, I can... Oh my God, look, airplanes do fly straight. That's pretty wild, Water runs downhill. Like, all right, you start to put things together, and but AI, graphene, vaccines, COVID, all of it, that was one of the primaries. But what I do is I pick one thing and I stick with it until I have it figured out. I've got 5 big ones, and I've come to some crazy, but extremely compelling conclusions, a lot of them. The World Economic Forum thing, with the Young Global Leaders program. I'm not going to say I'm the first person on the internet, but I know I was one of the first. And that was the one that got me kicked off. Go look up who they were. Go look up all of the people that were on the Young Global Leaders list. And then go look up how many of those people were on the Epstein lists. So do a comparison there if you're going to use your AI chatbot or whatever it is you want to do. But it's the people with wealth and power and some kind of political or technological influence over corporate bodies and corporate businesses and whatever else. So it's not that I'm depressed. Yeah, I'm not depressed. I'm just looking at it going like, autophagy. Hi, Michelle. Autophagy. That's like blood. Isn't that blood transfusion or something? Isn't that, or I know the word. I don't know what it means. I don't know what autophagy means. My friend Dr. Christina, MD, PhD, studied nanobiotech engineering at Harvard with military generals and pharma executives. Damn it, I just lost it. It took off on me. I can't find it. I wanted to read that whole thing. So, anyways, it's just, I don't know all the answers, right? I can tell you, like, how it's being done, right? I can tell you there's other things in it, right? I can tell you that it's not just about the graphene. They use other, agents of other types of materials, right? Like, I did a real deep thing on this a few years ago with the strontium, right? The strontium is what damages your bone marrow. That was another one I came to an epiphany on, But the strontium destroys your bone marrow, which produces your red blood cells. And your barium makes your cells hydrophobic. That's the response from your biology in your body. So your cells become hydrophobic. They won't take on new clean water. So the cure for the barium was high levels of potassium or potassium bicarbonate, and it makes, it basically shoves the bad shit out of your cells, but the potassium helps break open the cell, like, so because whatever happens to the cells becoming hydrophobic, where they're not absorptive of natural clean water anymore, something with the potassium ends up breaking the cell wall, or eroding it to a point where it's transferable again, and it'll take in clean water, but it will always get rid of the exosomes, right? The exosomes are the dirt package that's in the cell. So you drink potassium bicarbonate, I'm telling you, you won't last 5 minutes without pissing your brains out. It flushes there's a powdered version, but again, if you're ordering off Amazon, I don't know what's in the shit anymore, man. So is there a way to test a product for graphene? No, you would have to look in all the different things, right? Like, it's in a whole bunch of different things. Like, literally, I went and I started looking. Like, I would pick a random thing, the box, and I was doing an AI chatbot, right? I have a box, the cardboard, that the glue that they hold the cardboard itself together with, the glue inside of that, right? Why would Amazon want to do that? Because when you shine an LED light on that box running down a conveyor belt, and there's an infrared sensor somewhere, right? It can read what packages are doing what and how do they travel, So, barium, again, that potassium bicarbonate, it's incredible stuff, the stuff that I bought. I bought it probably a year ago, and I take a teaspoon of it probably once a week or something like that. As far as the strontium, I don't know how you counterbalance that. Hey, Dale, what's up, bro? But you do have all the answers, bro. We all do. Once a week, and the soul fosters a merger of fusion of intuitive consciousness and intellectual consciousness to form an entirely new faculty, Christ consciousness. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, man. Like, it's a time to be spiritual. There's no doubt about it, right? Like, it's a time to be spiritual. You got to look at all of this stuff, and you got to think to yourself, like, how the fuck did we get here, man? We put all of our faith in these people with suits. Oh, they're smarter than me, That's it. They built everything around you for you to accept it all the way that we do, Dissolve the pill in warm water. Use a magnet at the side of the glass for the graphene. I don't think I brought that up the other night either. So your vitamins, right? If you're going to go buy quercetin now, everybody's going to say, all right, I'm going to go buy quercetin. I can't remember the name of the material. Some kind of gel, right? I was talking to one of my buddies the other day. I don't know who exactly. I don't know where the hell I started talking about this. But anyway, that gel that like in caplets for like the sinus medicines, right? They always, like Sudafed, right? They give you those little gel caplets with the medicine be inside. Well, the caplet gel itself, right? You buy a vitamin E vitamin, right? And what's the casing of it made out of, right? Dissolves, and it's time release and all that stuff, right? But that stuff is even being made out of graphene. Not out of it, but it's highly dosed with it, right? And they have their different reasons for claiming that it does whatever and all this stuff, So hydrogel, that's another big one. Hydrogel, I think, is the bonding agent. If you look up what hydrogels are, it's something to do with silica, and the silica has a method of making the graphene bond to your cells, but it's silica and there's two other things that are a part of it. So it's kind of like the denture glue that old people use, for the graphene, Same thing, like it would stick to the hydrogel would stick to your cell and keep the graphene there as a node, as a receiver, as an antenna. Your cells have always been antennas, and your brain has always been an antenna, right? But why have they been crushing our fucking pineal glands for all this time with fluoride and every other thing? Here we are. This is why, right? If you can't see it, if you can't think, you have no cognition. Look where we're at, man. Like, look where we're at. This shit's not funny, right? There's no conspiracy theory in it, So I'm gonna bust this up, like this whole thing with doing this every night. I don't want to do it every night. I feel anxious sometimes because a thought will trigger a fucking. It's like I got Tourette's with conspiracy theories, man. I gotta tell everybody, like that's how it feels. But it's not conspiracy theories anymore, man. Once you jump over the fence and you say, all right, man, let me do some of that conspiracy analysis as well, right? You get a lot more people then, So, Jay Wilson's Facebook channel, a lot of patents. Yeah, he's great, man. Jay's a good dude. He's smart. Digital ID BS. What the hell happened? Oh, I think I reversed it. The Great Awakening. Yeah, so they're increasing wavelengths around you. That's going to have some kind of effect on the way that your brain operates, you know, because it's a receiver. It's receiving all these different things. He's laughing. What, the conspiracy theory Tourette's? Yeah. That's what it feels like, man. It's like, you know, make you fucking twitch. Make you twitch some of this stuff, you know. Information overload is becoming a thing. Yeah, I'm burnt with this stuff. But in vaccines since childhood, stifling our potential. And again, that's, you know, aluminum in your body for all that time, all these radio frequencies around you. It has an effect on the way that your body functions, man. It's always been aluminum. Every single vaccine. Forever. Right? Every one of them, outside of the Spanish flu. I think that was the only one, but that had mercury, you know. If we are conspiracy theorists, we are 100 to 0. Yeah, that's how it is right now, Holly. Yeah, how are you? I'm assuming that graphene has caused neurological issues in many, including myself. Neo-Nazis creating BS to do harm everywhere. We're supposed to tell everyone. Yeah, I mean, it's polydent. That's the shit. That's right, Matt. Matthew, so polydent. You know, here, come get your fucking graphene glue. You know? I'm telling you, man, they start this shit up again with keep your guns close. I'm serious as a fucking heart attack. They come trying to vaccinate everybody and all that shit again. You're armed now. You know what the fuck is really going on, right? If you don't by now, you're fucking retarded, you know. And I don't mean to say it like that. Like, it's people get bent out of shape over the word retarded. You know, I'm not. Retarded is like abnormal, right? It's not the kid fucking whatever, you know. So with Down syndrome, I'm not making fun of the Down syndrome, okay? I'm saying to retard something is to make it abnormal to its normal state, you know. So UV blacklight pickup on graphene. It's refractive. So Karen Paulson, would a UV blacklight pickup on graphene? Graphene is a nanoparticulate, so it's reflective. It's a baby solar panel, right? There's so many different functions of it. I've read so much shit about it. So many different functions. It's reflective. It's refractive. So it's interchangeable, right? That's what I said. Like the photovoltaic properties is it'll take light in and convert that into electricity directly inside of the particulate. So that's what emits the energy from it, you know. Electronic components are awesome, you know, to use it for. And but that's how they also measure and monitor where everybody's going, right? They got an infrared light on you, and they've got LED lights charging it at all times because it's sprayed on anything. You remember when they were spraying last summer? Everybody said around the same time, it's like sticky. You know, I went outside, there's this black shit all over my porch, you know, and that's what it was. There was two different direct bombardments of shit, right? So the sun ionizes things. There's water vapor in the air. The sun would burn that shit on an 80-degree day, would burn water out of the sky immediately, right? Doesn't do that. If it was water, it would be evaporating from the sun, from the ionization of the sun. It's not doing that. Those dark clouds, it's some other fabric is what they're using to keep those clouds together. Today we had a gigantic blanket. I couldn't believe it. I walked out at like 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm looking at the whole sky, big straight line. It's all gray on the one side, and it's all blue on the other side. It was like an eyeball was peeling open slowly all day, like a gigantic eyeball. The Earth is an eyeball, and this fucking thing, it took, I can't even tell you how long. It's just like 6 or 8 hours that blanket stayed over, right? And you got to think about it, right? What is climate change? If I can keep a cloud hovering over you, right, and starve the ground and the earth beneath you, or beneath that cloud from the sunlight, there's no warmth down below it, right? There might be humidity and all that other stuff. If there, you know, it gets complicated in the summertime to explain that, really. But in the wintertime, right, you're keeping it cold by keeping cloud cover between the sun and the earth, you know. So, I mean, it's all common sense, really, you know. So, We had that orange shit all over our lawns. Yeah, we had black stuff. It was sticky. I mean, you would touch it and it would stick to your fingers. You could feel the stickiness to it. And people are, it's just humidity. And it's like, that ain't fucking humidity. Like, shit's like tar. What are you talking about? You know, like, it was bad. That was bad. But, you know, that's what they're doing. I remember breathing it in. I remember breathing that shit in. I'm like, this is different. This isn't regular air. Something's fucking going on here. And, next day, you see all this black shit stuck to everything, you know? So, you know, you guys are probably some of the limited few. I don't think there's very many people talking about this the way that I am. I don't know if they are or not, but get out and start talking about it yourself. Like, you see this way, right? You can look these things up. These are all definable things. You can pick them out, re-show them to people, you know? I know either you're into it or not. Into what? The conspiracy theorists? Urine. But yeah, I guess I'm done for tonight. I'm not going to do these every night anymore. You know, I need to slow the fuck down. It's getting weird. Holy Spirit gives you a supernatural power, the full armor of God. Protect us from these evil powers, man. That's conspiracy theorists. I've seen this. Vaccines still. They're not letting me see all of these. So anyway, you know, I just wanted to do this tonight so everybody can. Body produces now. Dale, you're going to be the last one I read tonight. You know. This lady says, so that's what guys love. Damn it, man, this is annoying. That's what guys love to piss on you. Or you on them. No, not me, man. You take your golden shower and go somewhere else with that. The body produces natural vitamins from photosynthesis between eyes and atmosphere. You know, and this is another part of it too, you know. So if the sun's not out, right, Dale, it's awesome thing to say. Vitamins from photosynthesis between the eyes and the atmosphere. You can't buy glasses with glass in there anymore, you know. And I brought that up a couple weeks ago, and I forgot to continue talking about it, and I probably look like an idiot, but you know, that. All right, so when you're talking about the cloudbusters, it's the same thing, right? Photovoltaic, electrochemical, these different kinds of words, all that these kind of processes happen in different things, but it's in everything, right? The way that all things behave. So you need specific things to happen, specific ranges of light frequency for specific chemical things to happen. What the hell is everybody laughing at? I'll go back and look, man. But specific ranges of frequency doesn't necessarily have to be electricity. Different ranges of frequency in light, right, will make a specific chemical do a specific thing, right? So I can take UV light or a laser, and you know the UV light might do blah blah blah. Just like taking a blowtorch and putting on a piece of copper or a piece of iron, there's going to be a different outcome, right? So that trigger, whatever it is that I'm doing there, right? So that, let's just say that torch is the amount of light that goes in through my eyes, right, to my pineal gland or wherever it goes in the brain, the optic nerves, whatever, right? Your body needs that. It's biophotonics, I think, is what they call it, right? Biophotonics, and it's like this process that helps your body to develop the natural for sleeping, right? Again, this is one of those words they fucking zapped out of my head. What do they call this stuff? People take the thing every night. What is that called? The stuff that you take to go to sleep anyways. Melatonin or something, right? Well, whatever that is. God damn it. Endorphins, all that stuff, like all these different hormonal, chemical hormonal things that are produced inside of the body are all interactive and reactive to specific forms of energies, right? And if you take water in a glass and water in a plastic jar, right? Both of them are encapsulated, closed up, and you put them both out in the sun. The one in the glass is a natural crystalline structure, right? And oxygen bubbles, like oxygenation will start to happen there. And the plastic one, the oxygenation, if it happens, it won't happen even half as quickly as it does in the glass. If it does, I've seen it, some air bubbles in plastic, right? But I always use natural water when I'm doing these tests, like out of the earth. And this thing's got to go. Shut up, man. But my point is, the water is in your brain. It's in your body. The way your body, you know, this biophotonics thing, if you don't have these specific ranges of frequency in light in your body for those chemical processes to exchange and do the things that they're supposed to do, right? When we're in plastic lenses, you can't buy glasses that actually have, like, buy spectacles. Look up spectacles with actual glass in them. They don't manufacture them anymore that way. That's freaking crazy. That's crazy. So what is that saying? That light, there's a specific range of frequency that won't penetrate, that won't go through the plastic, right? So that's the same thing with the sun. The sun's shining on those two different things. The glass is a natural crystalline structure of silica, right? And the plastic is a synthetic material, just like taking a rubber jacket and putting it over a wire, right? That becomes non-conductive, or you control the electron flow that way, right? So the water in that glass thing will not wear away or break or damage or degrade. That plastic thing, that will take the beating. The casing itself will take the beating from the energy, rather than transferring the photons from the sun through that skin, right? Like polyester clothing on your body and your biofield and all that stuff. So this stuff all works together, both spiritually and scientifically, you know, theologically, right? Yeah, like you look at all these things that, like, this is like polymath stuff. You got to read a lot of different kinds of things to understand it all, you know. And I'm there, you know, like to a degree. I'm not saying I'm a fucking genius or not. I'm just saying I see things, right? I see things. I'm touched, you know. I don't know with what. You know, I always say it's COVID-induced Asperger's syndrome, really, is what I say. It's like, can't get my focus off of this shit. You know, it's fucking driving me crazy. But, got rid of polyester clothing, etc., toxic crap. Yeah, so, I mean, if you contain that biofield and you keep it trapped inside, it's not doing its outward radiant thing. It's like the cells in your blood, right? They're supposed to be opposing each other. They're not supposed to be stacking up and clotting and all that kind of stuff. You know, that means, like, if they call that rouleau or something, I had it. I was looking at my blood that I had an accident at work, and I put some on a slide, and I looked at it in the microscope, and I'm like, oh, that can't be right. Like, it looked like worms, you know? And I went outside, and I did it because I saw this video on TikTok of a lady at some therapist looking at her blood, sends her out to go ground, and she comes back in for 15 minutes, and all of her cells are repelling each other, right? They're electromagnetically harmonized from grounding then, right? If they're positively charged, they all start to stack together, but they're all positively charged, you know? And that's the same thing. So your body is supposed to radiate outward, repulse, or pick up, or, you know, gather other types of energies, but in a harmonious fashion, right? It's just funny that everything that we eat, drink, sleep in, build with, breathe in, like, all of it's contaminated, right? We're at a point we should all be realizing this shit now. There's no more conspiracy stuff, you know? I want to look at my own blood. You just said that to yourself, yeah. Grounding sheets for sure. Absolutely helps. I sleep great. Like me, see the truth as it passes by. Yeah. This is a good thing to wear, like a copper bracelet. Yeah, it increases electrical continuity, and the blood will pump just as fast. Me too, blood clumped. Well, something happens to me, man. There's certain places in my house I will sit down and I start to end up getting these, like, heart palpitations or something. This last week, I feel this weird tight feeling, like, right here up through my throat. And then like, it's not that I have a heart pain, but I feel my heart is there. I don't know how to explain that. Like, it doesn't feel like something's wrong, but it's like I'm aware that I feel something on my heart right now, you know. So, but yeah, so I'm done anyway. And I you know, like, people start talking about this targeting stuff and all that. I mean, we're carrying these things around. It's like, come get me, you know. That's what it's like. Like, here, this is the target, right? All this energy related technology, you make yourself an easy target carrying these things around. So Faraday bags and all that stuff. But you know, take a screenshot if you wanna. I'll show you You want to Google these things if you're not familiar with me. Take a screenshot of that. Read about all of them. Look things up. Teslaphoresis is critical to understand how that all works. Have I ever heard? Yeah. A lot of. I'm planning on doing a. If Dawn Christine will get me hooked up, I want to do a live with Sabrina Wallace. Yeah, I have heard of her. Very smart lady. I'll have a hard time keeping up with her. I'm trying to make it so she has a hard time keeping up with me. But she's a hero, right? She's doing this shit. She's getting people to understand, you know. So all right, guys. I guess I'll see you. But probably not until the weekend. And if you're interested, right, and you want to keep up on this kind of stuff and stay freaked out and miserable like me, go join that channel thing. That it's like a messaging thing. Sawdust all over the friggin' place. It's a channel. It's like in the messages, it'll stay there, but I have it pinned, and I'll try to put something in there every day, like, you know, I'm just trying to keep people engaged, right, in these kinds of thoughts and understand what the hell is actually happening here. So go and join that, because I'll start, like, in there I will announce that, like, hey, I'm going to do a live video tonight, because I do that randomly. But I think I'm going to start trying to hit, like, Thursday nights at 9 o'clock or Thursday nights at 8 o'clock. I'll try to do one a week, and that's where I'm going to stick at, I think, is Thursday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And I'll try to bottle up all the things that I you know, my conspiracy Tourette's wants me to start fucking twitching about, you know. So yeah, go join that group, go join that chat thing. And onions have quercetin. Yeah, onions are real good. But, all right, guys, take care. I'm gonna go.